Are we in a real estate bubble? 2022. Let's have that conversation. There are people who absolutely are extremists and say we're in a bubble. There are people who are in a coma still from COVID, don't even know what's going on. And there's my opinion and our community's opinion. So get a pen and paper. Let's talk about it. And where are the opportunities going to be? I'm going to share with you at the end of our conversation today. So let's talk about three things. Why are there even talks about a real estate bubble? Well, the obvious is here, so we'll talk about that. How is a recession, high interest rates and inflation going to affect it? And number three, the most important, how do you get ready? How do you capitalize? Because in a volatile market is where all the opportunities are. So most of you, just to start out, have been in a COVID coma. So welcome back. Like, get out of it and get here. You've missed opportunities now, in my opinion, for over 2 years. There are so many small business opportunities. If you wanted to be a shark in March, April, May, June, through July, bought a Ford dealership with a variety with 11 of us. Small, medium-sized businesses got pummeled while the big box stores got to stay open because they were essential. In the meantime, I was essential. Our teams were essential, and we stayed out here supporting the medium and small business owner. So what happened to the real estate market? Well, most people moved. The demographic changed. It was fabulous. It was fascinating. We had a real estate construction and land development company up in Boise, Idaho. Californians were flooding in, Oregon, Washington. I had land in Texas. I had cops moving out of Washington, couldn't stand to live there. The defunding of the police, bought land, building homes. New York moved to Florida, Jersey moved to Florida. The movement was astronomical. We've never seen such a movement, probably in the history of my life. I've seen a lot of economics ups and downs, but the movement was fascinating. When we were starting to build, we had so many single home developments. And we were probably in the 3, low 4, but really in the 300,000 market, which was pretty normal for the Treasure Valley and the Boise area. Once this all started, by 2021, houses were going for 5, 6, I knew some of them even for 700 in the same neighborhoods. Shocking prices, shocking elevation of prices. To me, that was an interesting bubble, and it was a false bubble. The interest rates were really low, so a lot of people were buying, and they had just sold out multi-million-dollar homes, which were much smaller in California or in Seattle or wherever they moved from. They came with a lot of cash, and so it didn't matter what they bought for. Now they have a big problem. That is all leveled out and neutralized back to $300,000 and $400,000 houses, days on the market's longer. So I think there are market-centric bubbles. Like that is going to be an interesting one where you're going to watch the fallout of people spending or buying, unless they bought it, in cash or got a really good deal or could afford the cash flow. There's going to be a foreclosure and a fallout market of those who really couldn't afford that, stretched for it, bought a $500,000 house, only worth $300,000 now. Will it come back? I don't know. Interest rates are higher, so less people are going to be buying. They're going to be moving more to a rental market. So why is this so current now? Because things are leveling back out, to norm, whatever this new norm is. Median housing prices have shifted 20%. And again, different markets. Phoenix had a crazy rush. Texas had a crazy rush. Florida had a crazy rush. Depending on where you are, I'm going to say city, almost very specific zip code centric changes, and there's still huge opportunities in the real estate space. What's interesting here in 2022, if you, depending on who you read and how you read it, some places would still say that we have a huge housing shortage. Do we have a housing shortage, or do we have people who don't want to rent and they want to buy? Now we're in a high interest environment and they can't buy because they can't afford it. Right? They can't afford the payment. So my answer to that would be just go make some more money. But, that's not how this normally works. Usually somebody who wants to buy a house, can they afford the monthly payment versus I want it, I'm going to go make the money, I'm going to buy what I want. Different conversation. Why is there talks of a real estate bubble? Because things are leveling out. And we've just had a huge double market crash. March, April of 2020, we were down over 30%. Just recently, we went down 20-30% again. And, the financial planners and the stock market people who made all the commissions going into that and all the fees in that structure, they're in for the long haul. I think you're crazy. I have a software that takes me out of the market. I haven't lost more than 2% and now 1%. So I say in a very specific algorithm of a software that managed me in and out of the market. You are welcome to have a free app. Go to the description below and click on the iFlip app. Watch the webinar, get a free app, put your money there. It's a safer place than roller coastering through the market. I was just meeting with a private client yesterday, down 200,000 in net worth. I met with a private client last week, down $500,000. All stock market driven and all crypto driven. Now, if you actually take the net worth of their house and the variance of a couple $100,000, you got a huge loss in 2022. So that's what's causing a lot of the bubble conversation. The recession, right? I mean, if you want to talk about what I think about the inflation and gas prices. I love all this political nonsense that just because people invest in gas and oil companies, I worked for a gas and oil company before. It's how I got into gas and oil. The tax benefits are extraordinary. Just because you invest in it doesn't mean you are bought off or supported by them. That's incorrect conversation. And if you want gas prices to go down, it has nothing to do with the big oil in the United States driving those prices. It has to do with international politics. That's a problem. And the fact we won't open up the pipeline. So yes, I have a huge political opinion about that and a huge just economic opinion. I mean, you look at the green people and all these new cars. Really, what does it take to rip up the earth to get a lithium battery out of the ground? And if I'm like really irritating you right now, perfect. Give me some comments and I'd love to get back to you. If you really want to come head to head and let's have a conversation about the real economics of this, go to AskLoral.com. Join my membership, say I want to go live with Loral and ask a question, and we will banter implicitly. The lithium batteries are not only destroying the earth coming out, there's nowhere to put them on the way back in, right? So what do most people do? Throw them in the ocean. Let's just destroy even more of the earth. The amount of damage done there versus just some fracking to run our own pipeline. We are energy independent in North America for over 500 years. That's what's controlling inflation is because we're importing. We don't need to import. We have enough resources in Canada and the United States together. So there's my little rant about gas and oil, and I'm a gas and oil millionaire, so I love the space. So other inflationary, reasons why things are up. Why are you supporting the big box stores? They're the one controlling the price increases. There are other ways to do it. If you go to a link below in my description, askloral.com/beat inflation. Buy from direct sales companies. I'm a huge direct sales company fan, but even more now in a recession and high interest rate and high inflation. Why? Because they don't price increase, right? They have total algorithms and softwares to pay all of their constituents and affiliates. So they're not going to change their software structures to increase, whether it's dish soap or laundry soap or just your basic cleaning supplies. Most direct sales companies, I've only known of one that has gone up 3% in their product pricing. So there's ways to beat inflation, not support big box stores, and let them continue to win while the small and medium-sized businesses lose. So there's things you can do in your own spending habits, right? What are you doing when you eat out? What are you doing how you shop? I mean, all of these things affect our inflation and how you are participating in it. Interest rates, they are what they are for now. A lot of us knew this was going to get a little heated right before the midterms and the elections that just went on. They'll be going on for another month or so. And then we'll see in 2023 if and when things level out. How do you prepare? From what I've heard from all world leading economic folks who I talk to, a couple of them on a regular basis, because they guide me to guide you, is 2023 is going to level out a little bit. There are going to be massive opportunities in the market because there are market shortage, like the market's down in so many areas. So get ready to buy. I know tons of people moving to cash and getting ready for some of this real estate bubble, right, in this market to level out. Opportunities are going to be everywhere. Small, medium-sized businesses are still going to have challenges. The unemployment rate is still high. People still like to live on unemployment and COVID coma and not coming back to work. We've had an ad out to hire people since the beginning of COVID. Still am not like in fully staffed position. I know tons of businesses that way where people is the problem. There's just going to be an interesting situation. You say, well, what's going to be recession-proof investments? Well, I'm not an advisor. I can't tell you. But like I said, getting cash is what most people have been advising and telling me to do. So I can't advise you because I'm not legally available. I'm just going to tell you some ideas that I have. I think cash, real estate, very properly structured insurance. This iFlip software is phenomenal because it protects you from market crashes, including cryptocurrency. You can buy cryptos through it. So I'd stay pretty nimble. And if you don't know what that means, then let us teach you. One more gift I'm going to give you is I want to give you 2 tickets to the Millionaire Intensive and a free copy of my book. And come to our marketplace. Let's talk about this conversation and how to make money. If there's any conversation that we're not having out here on my channel, put it in the comments, as I mentioned before. And please subscribe, right? Click the notification button, hit the bell. You get every morning, 5 days a week, have you and your family out here learning together. What a great time to talk to your kids, your family, and learn about money together in this very volatile time. It will change your life if you decide to engage and learn about money because the opportunities are everywhere. They'll be everywhere through at least 2024. And then we might see some leveling out. But it's going to last that long, so you need to be ready. And you need to be ready to make money. So with these 2 tickets to the Millionaire Intensive comes a marketplace. So I look forward to seeing you there. I have one more this year in 2022, or I'll see you in 2023. Let me teach you how to make money, and we'll talk tomorrow.